Now this illustration deals with protection over countertops. Now let me point out, we have a wall behind these receptacles. So reviewing this illustration in accordance with GFCI protection rules, in accordance with NEC 210.8A6, notice the cooktop to the left. If that counter top's over 12 inches, say there, then you need a receptacle there. And then on the other side, you would measure over and say 24 inches and put a receptacle. And then 4 foot, you add a receptacle. And the spacing would be like the wall outlets in a dwelling unit, like say a living room. You shouldn't place a toaster or a coffee pot or anything on that counter and be more than 24 inches from a receptacle, so that your cord would be long enough without on the appliance without using extension cords and things. And then notice it's the same to the other side. You measure 4 foot, and every 4 foot of counter space, you would need a receptacle. And then the last receptacle installed, it could be over 12 inches, or you'd need another receptacle there. And then notice you have a refrigerator there that you could also put on the small appliance circuit, which would be legal by the exception, or you could bring a direct 15 or 20 amp circuit just to that refrigerator now. And of course, we're looking at 210.52B as in boy 1, along with 210.8A6. Now that island that you see there, or say a peninsula, which doesn't have a wall behind it, then notice the rules have changed, and we refer you to see figure 10-13. And basically, the way it reads to me, if you have more than 9 square foot of an island countertop space or a peninsula, you need 1 receptacle up to 9 square foot. But if you had 18 square foot, you need 2. So read that very carefully, because those rules are no longer just 1 receptacle located on an island or a peninsula. It's the square footage rule now that we have to review and be very careful with. Now, the other thing I'd like to point out, you wouldn't be able to take a multi-outlet assembly and put it there with, say, 3 or 4 outlets on it and say, this complies. No, if you have multi-outlet assemblies installed on islands or peninsulas, it's 1 outlet toward the count, no matter how many outlets that comes with the multi-outlet assembly. Be sure you realize this, or you could get an expensive turn down when you went back and tried to add all these additional receptacles if required. So protection over countertops here means that the countertop has a wall behind it in accordance with NEC 210.8A6, and then see your figure 10-13 when it's an island or peninsula, meaning what? There's really no wall behind those outlets. And that's changed too, you know. If you had, say, to the right, you see we have the wall coming down, but say that the wall did not come down and the wall ended and the wall to the right coming down, that was a peninsula area there. Now you'd have to have a plug on the other side and put those plugs in if that was a den or a living room area or whatever. Most time it's a den where you'd have your kitchen, and you'd have your sitting room to view TV and so forth. So read these new rules very carefully pertaining to peninsulas and islands. And our figure 10-13 gives you a head start on this.